So it's really hard to make a living playing soccer. And I got my first computer at age 10. My dad gave me, thank you, Dad. And I started learning how to program. And I was hacking my neighbor's Wi-Fi. And yeah, I got so passionate about it. Entire career started since I was watching Mark Zuckerberg, The Social Network movie, and I started getting my first touch with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and I was running to my entire family. Hey, I can build the next thing. I can build the next Facebook. All this, I think every programmer when they start in searching HTML, they feel they're so powerful, right? Just learn how to fail and how to use it as your advantage. Something that really hurts, that hurt you, but you're proud of yourself because of it, because that happened, you are who you are today. And
Welcome once again to Africa Tech Talks. Our guest today is Marcelo Cesar. Marcelo, thank you very much for coming to the podcast. We are very excited to have you here. In some brief words, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
yeah, sure. My name is Marcelo Cesar, self-taught computer science student. I've been working as a software engineer since age 16, just after I finished my high school. I was working internationally for more than 4 companies, and now I'm creating brand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, and already diving into our questions, in your inception, you started very young, but you not always were interested in computers. First, you were interested in playing football. We talked before, so you shared with us that your club that I really can't pronounce the name yet. It's what? Sorry, was it? What is it? What is it? The name? Epif. So Epif, and you even won to this sporting game. So you were the champions, and so something happened along the way where you were a good midfielder, center back, I think. You were a center back. Something happened, and you left a career in football for a career in computer science and programming. How was that? Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I think dreams of every kid is playing pro as a professional, pro to be pro soccer player, right? But what happened is here in Cape Verde is really hard to make a living playing soccer. And I knew from the early age, that my parents could not afford my studies and dream, at least financially, right? And, I was playing for a piece. We were winning like every game. However, I could not see myself being able to afford at least a future. So it's really hard to make a living playing soccer. And I got my first computer at age 10. My dad gave me, thank you, Dad. And I started learning how to program. And I was hacking my neighbor's Wi-Fi. And yeah, I got so passionate about it, and I left.
Such a nice moment. Thank you, Dad, for giving me the computer. Seems like that moment alone changed your entire life, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was
Very.
the point where I just changed the career because I was thinking more about my future that I want, because decisions that I take in a very early age would potentially affect negatively or positively my future. So I got into computer. I saw a future. I said, that's it. I am in the computer world. I'm all in, and let's do it. Let's see where it takes me. Yeah.
Fantastic, Marcelo. That's amazing, and that's amazing because it seems like you had a dream of being a professional. And although football is a nice dream, it seems like your feet on the ground made you choose this, and it seems like it's taking you very far away, very far away. Ivo, I think you can go from here, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Andre. Marcelo, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Uh, we can see you always had a passion for technology. So you got your first computer at the age of 10. Uh, One of your idols or inspirations is Mark Zuckerberg, right? I think the social network movie about him impressed you and kind of inspired you to do what you are doing nowadays. You are self-taught in many ways, right? So computer programming, English, and you have been continuously improving your skills. Um, and right now, what you have, so to say, still a short, but I would say impressive journey. So you started very early. You got your first, I would say, paid job as a mobile developer at age 16, correct?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
20 or 21 right now? Is it?
21 now. 21. 21. I just
21.
21.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to make a point here. So you're very young, but you already have a an incredible track record, professionally speaking. And I wanted you to share a little bit more of that professional track with our audience.
Yeah, sure. It's so my path and my entire career started since I was watching Mark Zuckerberg, the social network movie, and I started getting my first touch with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and I was running to my entire family. Hey, I can build the next thing. I can build the next Facebook. All of this, I think every programmer when they started in searching HTML, they feel they're so powerful, right? Um, so that's the point where I started. I started posting. My first post was on LinkedIn. It was literally changing colors in HTML. And for me, it was fantastic. I can code and it show up in the browser, and that's how I started. And from there, start posting, start creating projects, pure HTML, CSS code, JavaScript, and yeah, as soon as people start watching me, and that's how I grew.
Okay, amazing. And between all of this, you worked for you worked for a Brazilian tech company, right? For doing software development. Meanwhile, this was at age what, 18?
Yeah,
So
it
it
was
was a
age 17 to 18. Yeah.
17
So
to 18.
yeah, yeah. So that was a big change. I would like to start over before that happened. So I failed at top grade. Actually, I'm so proud of it because just I was having an early conversation with Andre, and I think we have a sharing lesson here, which is learn how to fail and how to use it as your advantage. Something that really hurts, that hurt you, but you're proud of yourself because of it, because that happened, you're who you are today. And I failed at 10th grade and I changed the school to, and there I was in a classroom with better students, better professors, nothing to share. I was with bad professors, but the way of teaching, it was simpler for me to understand, and the environment was different with more students that I connect with. And I started creating my company, my virtual company, which was MarkTech CV, and I was reselling. I was doing websites with pure HTML, just like a landing page, and the whole mindset started growing, 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 and I got my first job at 16, right? And my employer hired me with no skills because I was sharing my progress over the LinkedIn, just that grit, I have determination, I'm motivated, I'm studying, and that was enough for him to hire me. And he bought just a $10 course on Coursera and just give me to learn. I've learned it and built his whole project. Then, after building his whole project, being a year and a half with him, I just focused on school. I got A on math for the first time in my entire high school journey. That meant a lot, and I started working some more. Um, and the company in Brazil reached me out. I denied at first, and then later when I was graduating from high school, the next day that I finished the exam, the final exam, I got hired by this company, and I was working on a huge financial system and an app. They transferred me later to work on an app with over 90 million downloads, and it was fantastic. I've learned a lot.
Well, that's amazing. So your job opportunities always came through word of mouth, and you just networking your way into those opportunities, right? And tell us a little bit more about your United States experience, because we are aware that you've been there for a period of your time. You've met one of my idols, David Malin, at Harvard University. Uh, how was it? How was it? How was the story, your story of getting there, and what actually happened?
Mhm. Yeah. So after having a huge knowledge from this company in Brazil, I was dealing with client and take the input and turn it into code and actually show the client and all this knowledge. I I was amazed by the structure of their projects. How can their project handle millions of users, right? So I did my best to learn the structure, and because I knew I would start my own company and I want to apply that knowledge, all that knowledge, right? So that was the time I wanted to work with a startup to learn to fail, learn how to raise money, how to talk to customers, and I start talking with a CEO of a company in Miami. He was in Verde, and I started talking to him. We set up a meeting and we go, and we were just our why we're meeting. It was because I suggest let's meet up to change, see the possibilities to change Caver for the better, right? And the conversation turned out in for him to hire me, but it wasn't easy, right? So in this competitive market, one of their hardest skill is to have is not just being good software engineer, but know how to communicate clearly your ideas and how you will solve the problems and put yourself up in the word, right? So that's what helped me a lot is combining my skill and to know how to effectively communicate with a potential employer. I'm my name is Marcelo Cesar. I can do this. I try your app. This is what I can do, showing what I bring to the table, right? So after our introduction, he gave me a challenge to build his mobile app, and I did it over 2 months. And he brought me to US. I was in the Christmas end of the year with a suit and just coding next to my family, but he ended up paying off. And initially, I went to US for 2 weeks and ended up seeing many other opportunities. We were exploring other cities, visiting, and it was fantastic. And I met a lot of great minds, and that led me to go to Harvard. And as soon as I saw David that first day, I was like, so like it was unreal. It shows me that everything is possible. Literally everything is possible if you just focus and yeah, and be consistent. But David Jamal, I was watching him when I was starting how to code, and I know that 4 years later, I'm gonna watch him in person. Like that was unreal. And I got to stage in front
Yeah, it's
of
a
millions. I mean, in front of thousands of Harvard students. It was great experience.
Yeah, it's online. David's online classes are amazing. I just love the way he transmits and transfers knowledge to people. He really is he's really good at what he does. He's a really good teacher. I think I would recommend anyone in our audience with starting or just reviewing concepts on programming or similar fields, go and look for his online classes because it is very engaging, and you can stay stuck for the screen in the in the screen for hours and hours just learning from him. That's amazing. And so Marcelo, after this, you are the founder and CEO of another tech company, call it a startup, so to speak, which is more focused on, I don't know, like a mixture of, you're trying to solve a problem that regular dating apps and local businesses. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I'm the current founder and CEO of LINKMUP. So LINKMUP is a social dating app, a platform where you can easily meet people. What I am different is because I'm using leveraging the power of AI to bring a unique in-person meetups, right? And just connect with local businesses around. So you meet new person and I connect them with local businesses so everyone can win, right? They can get discounts. Imagine you are in New York and you want to meet your friend. You just see a lot of events and you can meet a friend or a date, and I show you many local businesses around where you can go and have a date, and you have great discounts. That's LinkedIn. And I was in New York, and I was having this problem. I couldn't find any platform that does it, so I decided to build my own.
Oh, okay. So you just so the idea behind this platform or this startup is to provide not just finding your mate, right? So a person to go out with, but also local businesses that you must rely on in order. I don't know. Is it restaurants, gifts, flower shops, movie theaters, everything related to going on a date night or something like that?
Yeah, it really depends on what are you up to. If you up to go for a movie, a business, and events, church, anywhere, I can show events based on your interest, and you connect to people based on your preference.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, thank you, Marcelo, for your answer. Uh, Back to you.
Thank you so much. Marcelo, once you were told that you would never get to Harvard, we already discussed this a little bit earlier, that you were somehow motivated by failing at school. The first year you failed at school, it motivated you, and now you kind of thank everyone for that moment because it was a learning point for you. How motivating was to hear that you would never go and meet your idols and be in the stage at Harvard like you have been?
I can start by saying it was very challenging and very painful to hear that because the person that told me was very important,
Great.
and to hear that word, it was very painful. But um, as I read Bible and I see that what is happening to me right now, I may not understand, but later I will, right? And so I picked that verse. It is in John. Now I remember the right orders. But it was something that really touched my heart, and it made me think like everything happens for a reason, right? But in that moment, exactly in that moment where someone tells you you can't do it, and it actually sounds impossible, like literally. I was told that this dream is unrealistic. You know, my parents cannot afford me just to go abroad to study, and imagine going to Harvard, which is 4 year um, cost is almost $500,000, right? But what kept me going is I'm so passionate about coding. So do what you love and just focus and be consistent. And that was the source of motivation. Like in my last point, I was like so how can I say sad because I have no support, no one understanding my dreams. And what kept me going is my passion. Like not relying on motivation. It's just my passion. My passion kept me going at my lowest point.
Yeah. motivation sometimes fails. And it's funny that you say that you started not believing, because whenever you ask for perseverance, the gift is a test. So someone tested you, right? You seem like you have been tested, and your passion made it through all the process. Very well, very well. Marcelo, having and you talked to us about LINKMUP, which is an amazing app. Tell us, what can we expect from Marcelo in the future? Will he just be on this app, building other stuff? What can we expect?
Yeah, so I just mentioned that LinkMeUp is this platform. It's not out there. LinkMeUp is even more than that, is a software company that offers software service, and also I build my own softwares to solve critical problems. So I'm currently focused totally on building Prendy. Prendy is a web platform that allows anyone, focus on professionals and students, to learn a new language faster and effectively using our cutting edge technology and AI powered tools, and has a bonus, a huge community where you can practice with other learners one-on-one. So what you can expect me, I would start saying that I see Prendy, every student in every school's university here in Cape Verde, like at least 50% of Cape Verde speaking English because of Prendy. And I hope to make a huge positive impact throughout the Palop, Europe, and I inspired to be a very successful entrepreneur and make a great impact helping people and use my knowledge for good. So this is my goal, and I'm doing my best to make it happen, and I believe it will.
Interesting. It's like many years ago, or a few years ago, the main people that were progressing were the lawyers, but now it's the engineers and the programmers that are solving the problems, and seems like we are going faster. Last question. Considering your experience, how do you what advice can you give to the people that maybe didn't start with the biggest resources in the world, doesn't seem like they have all the opportunities, but they still want to prevail in, and they have some passion? What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, so as I am a self-taught computer science student, being a self-taught is really tough. And one of the challenges you have is finding the right resources and in the right order, right? When you're senior, you can see that every resource is online, you can learn it for free. But as you're a beginner, you don't have that knowledge enough to differentiate between good and bad resource. So that's your challenge, to find the right resource and at the right order. For example, you want to be a web developer, you just don't jump in and building sites with HTML and CSS. Like, just go to tutorial and watch, right? You want to learn about how the protocols, DNS servers, how your HTML, CSS code, your computer can understand it, and how the internet works. So all these basic concepts that will help you advance in your career. But if you don't have it, you literally are a beginner. You don't know where you should learn it first and second. So what you should do is find a mentor who be in the same journey and learn it from them, so you will not make the same mistakes, right? And then it's just to change your environment. You see, I'm at the moment I am because I have changed my environment. So one of the things I learned this year is environment is even more important than having knowledge and how to behave, because just simply for putting yourself in the right environment will lead you to have the right knowledge and how to behave. So if you have $0 in your pocket and you put in an environment in New York with all the successful people, how you think you're going to end up successful as them, right? So you don't have the knowledge. You are in the right place. So just put yourself in the right place, surround yourself with the right people, and it will indirectly, you will start to speak like them, act like them, talk like them, and learn the right resources because of the right environment. So the same happens if you are in the bad environment. So this is 2 lessons. And 3, just be bold enough to just introduce yourself to people. Just network. Network is so important because in this competitive world, it's not just enough to have a great skill and to be good at what you do, right? A lot of people are just good as you. So how can you be different? Just network. And you see, my example is every job that I got, it wasn't for applying on LinkedIn. It was personal connection, networking. So be bold enough and just introduce yourself. How can you be beneficial, important to the employer?
Very well. Very well. I can't agree more. Marcelo, it was a real big pleasure to have you on the podcast. I hope and I think that is shared with Ivo and the other guys. We hope that we can talk to you further down the road and with a lot more success stories to share. In my name and in behalf of everyone, thank you so much, and hope to see you next. To all our listeners, we hope that you have enjoyed our program and that you connect with us through LinkedIn, through Twitter, and other social networks. Marcelo's details also will be on our bio. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye, Marcelo. Keep that energy up and up, up and up. Love that.